Lucille has taken my sword! Right!
Did you know that John Carter almost beat Snow White as the first feature-length animated film? It's wild to think about, but there are rumors going around that Disney might actually make an animated sequel to the live-action John Carter movie starring Taylor Kitsch. This could continue the story from the first movie, and I don't know about you, but I'm all in for that. So let's dive into everything we know about it so far, and why it could be such a big deal. First, some context about the original plans for a sequel. Andrew Stanton, who directed the first film, revealed that John Carter 2 would have been titled Gods of Mars. The plan was for Dejah Thoris, played by Lynn Collins, to narrate the prologue just like Willem Dafoe's Tars did in the first film. In the sequel, she would be telling the story of the first movie to her child, Carthoris, who she fears will never get to know his father, John Carter. This immediately sets up emotional stakes, and a personal journey that could carry over beautifully into an animated format. The story would kick off with a dramatic twist. Ciarán Hinds' TARDIS Mors comes to take the child, supposedly to put him to bed, but he's actually Matai Shang, Mark Strong's shape-shifting villain in disguise. He kidnaps Carthoris and vanishes, which instantly picks up where the first movie left off. John Carter returns to Barsoom, and the narrative quickly expands into new territories. This gives an animated sequel a lot to work with, because the world of Mars in Gods of Mars is rich with strange landscapes, powerful races, and wild creatures that animation could bring to life in a way live action might struggle with. By the end of this planned sequel, Carter, Dejah, and their son would reunite, and the three races of Mars, the Red, the Green, and the Firstborn, would join forces to defeat the Therns. Along the way, Carter discovers that the Firstborn, devoted to goddess Isis, have secretly been controlling life on Mars, from water and air to food and plants. But then he realizes that Isis is just another identity of Matai Shang, which raises the stakes even higher. Carter has to expose him and rescue his son, who has been genetically enhanced into a superhuman warrior. The tension and family drama, combined with the grand scope of interplanetary politics and warfare, makes this an incredible foundation for an animated sequel. Interestingly, Disney's John Carter wasn't even the first attempt to bring the series to the screen. Back in 1931, there was a plan for an animated John Carter film that could have predated Snow White as the first feature-length animated movie. Looney Tunes director Bob Clampett pitched a feature-length adaptation of A Princess of Mars to Edgar Rice Burroughs, who loved the idea. Burroughs understood that live action at the time wouldn't do the story justice, but animation could pull off the impossible. The plan even had MGM on board, and test footage was created by 1936. It used rotoscoping to create characters, and even imagined eight-legged beasts. Unfortunately, audiences at the time thought a man on Mars was too outlandish, and the project was shelved. If Clampett's John Carter had come out first, the history of animation could have looked completely different. Snow White might never have been the first feature-length animated film, and Disney's rise to dominance might have taken a different path. It's fascinating to think that John Carter could have been a household name decades before Disney turned into the media giant we know today. But now, with rumors of an animated sequel, the story may finally get the continuation it deserves. The potential for an animated John Carter 2, or Gods of Mars, is massive, because it could explore moments from the books that live action couldn't tackle. Take The Chessmen of Mars, for example. This book features one of Burroughs' most imaginative sequences, a giant human-scale game of chess where the pieces are living warriors fighting to the death. The story follows John's daughter, Tara, and her love interest, Gayan, whose cleverness is tested in this deadly game. An animated sequel could visualize this in a way that's visually spectacular while staying true to the series' adventurous tone. Another story, The Synthetic Men of Mars, highlights John Carter's sidekick, Vordage, who ends up having his brain transferred into a monstrous body by the mad scientist, Ros Thavas. Vordage's new form is horrifying, but opens up a bunch of creative storytelling possibilities, from protecting his original body to navigating a dangerous lab. Animation could portray the surreal horror and bizarre romantic complications in ways live action might struggle with, making it perfect for a continuation of Carter's adventures. Even the later books, like John Carter of Mars, feature sequences that would blow audiences away in an animated format. There's a story with a massive kaiju-like giant created by a villain named Pugmoggle, and John Carter assembles an army of Martian rats to help fight it. That kind of absurd, larger-than-life action, combined with strategic thinking and creative use of Martian biology, is exactly the kind of material animation can elevate. These sequences would feel more grounded and believable in animation because the medium allows for complete freedom of scale and imagination. Gods of Mars also introduces the Valley of Dor, which is supposedly a paradise but turns out to be full of monstrous surprises, including feral plant men, white apes, and cannibalistic white Martians. That twist alone would make for a visually stunning animated film with a chance to explore Mars's mythology and landscapes in incredible detail. The mix of suspense, horror, and grand adventure would give a sequel both heart and spectacle while staying true to the themes that made the original John Carter story so beloved. What's exciting about an animated sequel is that it could also bring back the original characters' emotional arcs. Dejah Thoris would likely continue to narrate, maintaining her perspective and deep connection to John Carter. Their son, Carthoris, would give the story a generational angle, exploring how heroism and responsibility are passed down. Animation allows for subtlety in facial expressions and body language that can communicate emotion in a different way than live action, which could enhance the family drama at the story's core. Because the original live-action movie left some plot lines open, an animated sequel has the advantage of picking up exactly where the story stopped. Carter has returned to Mars, Dejah is on a quest to find their kidnapped child, and a shape-shifting villain is lurking in the shadows. This provides a natural continuation for audiences without having to reinvent the wheel, but at the same time, animation allows for world-building to go far beyond the constraints of a live-action budget. Think sprawling Martian cities, interspecies alliances, and battles with creatures that are too complex or fantastical to bring to life on a physical set. Even though Disney's John Carter live-action movie didn't meet box office expectations, the narrative and world-building were solid enough to support a sequel. The animated format could finally do justice to the full scope of Edgar Rice Burroughs' vision, from the social hierarchies of Barsoom to the intricate politics of the red, green, and firstborn races. A sequel could explore more of the firstborn's advanced technology, their devotion to ISIS, and the ethical dilemmas that arise when power is misused. Animation gives creators the freedom to fully visualize these concepts without worrying about live-action limitations, which is why fans are excited about this possibility. An animated sequel to John Carter could unlock some of the most exciting and imaginative parts of Edgar Rice Burroughs' Barsoom series in ways live-action never could. The books are full of strange, thrilling, and sometimes bizarre moments, like massive battles with multi-limbed beasts, tense political maneuvers, and dangerous experiments. Scenes such as the living chess match from the Chessmen of Mars or Vordage's horrifying transformation into a monster could become cinematic highlights, balancing action, suspense, and even dark humor. A climactic sequence set in the Valley of Dor, with its nightmarish plant men and ferocious creatures, would provide the kind of spectacle animation is perfect for. One of the biggest strengths of an animated approach is how it could fully capture the diverse world of Barsoom. The planet is home to red, green, and white Martians, each with distinct cultures, powers, and designs, and animation would allow all of these to blend seamlessly. Vast cities, desert plains, underground layers, and mystical rivers could be realized with a unique style that makes the world feel larger than life while still tied to the look of the 2012 film. A sequel like this wouldn't just continue the story, but reinvent it for new and returning fans. It could expand John Carter's family story, highlight new heroes and villains, and finally, deliver moments the live-action movie never had the chance to. By using animation, Disney could tap into the rich mythology of Gods of Mars, the Chessmen of Mars, and the Synthetic Men of Mars, setting up an ongoing series of adventures. Well, that's it for today. Let me know what you think in the comments below.